Hey guys, Mark Ferrasci, ProTech Dog Training. I'm on the patio outside these ratty old houses working in the shade because it's got a total shade cover over the top of it. It's kind of nice. Now that we're getting in the 90s and 100s, this is probably going to be my camera view. I can clean it up a little bit, but probably won't because it's not my nature to give a hoot until it's time to really put the work in to clean this place out. Yes, good, good, good. Now, Jolene has done a lot of growth. Yep, nope, good, good, good. The biggest thing I like is that she does have a communication baseboard that's been getting installed, right? No good and yes, and a lot of my voice tone, because this dog is very receptive to voice tone, and I got that real quick with her, so I decided that I was going to use it. Because right when I say, good girl, she's got a female as an owner, and a female gives her a lot of that voice tone, right? So there's your positive in regards to things. You can put in your voice as much as you can anything else. And with a pet quality dog like this totally acceptable. You know, we're not out on the trial field. We're just trying to get a dog balance. This is a behavior modification. Dog's very weak and insecure, and the owner needs to learn an awful lot how to communicate with her dog. And that's going to be a big part of the service with this owner. And to get the value out of the service, the owner, if she gets off the couch and puts the energy into wanting to learn and grow and really draws on that, she's going to do fine. Right? Because that's what she's going to need. It's not going to be the dog. It's going to be how she communicates with the dog after I've set up enough baseboard of communication that we have something to work with. Yep. And she does, right? She understands what's going on with no, good, and yes, down, good. And our basic baseboard that we're building in. So now we're getting into structure. We're getting into the healing aspect of things. Heel, sit down, stay. I've already taken that in public a lot. Seen how she's going to act and see where her head's at. I had one negative episode happened this last weekend when I went to Bass Pro. A child came running up to her and went to go hug her real quick. And she snapped at their face and it went off. This was one of the issues that their owners were talking about. And I hadn't seen the behavior until then. And it tells me everything. A lot of people don't have a clue. They go out and they're... like this owner told me, she wants to be able to go out and shop, take her dog with her and not have to worry about her dog doing some kind of negative things and biting somebody. But you have to understand that your job as an owner of the dog, you have to be aware of what's going on around you. You have to accept the dog for being who she is and understand the nature of a dog and realize that she's not a robot. It's your job to learn and grow and to control the dog, to be the alpha wolf, to be the leader of the pack. Okay, it doesn't mean when I say alpha wolf, I'm not saying you need to dominate the dog. I'm saying your relationship, right? That's the most important thing. So you have to have a certain responsibility in that. And if you can't kind of keep a third eye on the dog, just like a parent would with their kids, then you shouldn't take her out when you go shopping, period. You know, but if you can, and you can try to get her out and start learning how to be aware of your environment and do the things you've got to do, there's no reason you can't have this dog out. She's not that bad. What she is very susceptible to things to stupid people, excuse me for saying it. Child had no right to come up, or no reason to come up and want to hug the dog, but it happens. This child in question was a little off, and you see that all the time where there's kids that are a little bit off and they're out there in the parks and in different locations, or parents that have kids that are a little off, and there's nothing wrong with that other than the fact that the society's perception of this, the kids' perception of a Dalmatian like this, is tied into all kinds of little cartoons and movies and stuff that the kids have in regards to Dalmatians. So right away, their feelings of this dog are related to that they see on TV. So this child came up and went to go hug the dog because of that perception caused by media, right? Not the child's fault. So right away, I stopped and I corrected her for what her behavior was when she snapped at the child's face. And it's not hard as a professional. It's risky. The person is naturally going to jerk away from a dog coming at them. And when you've got the leash, you go the opposite way. So I controlled it. I gave her a good correction for it. And then I took my time to educate the child with the parent standing right there. Okay. And I did that. Let's see if I can get a camera set that helps you guys out because I want to have a little chat here. Good girl. Come on, let's go. Good girl. That's good. She happy? Is she happy? Yes, she is. Good girl. All right. Up, down, good. So I stopped and I took my time to educate the child about never put your face in another dog's face. It's just a golden rule. You're going to get bit. And when that happens, the child will get scarred for possibly for life. It's not the dog's fault. And the owner is feeling guilty because she feels it is the dog's fault. So what is her mental attitude is? That she's putting all the load on the dog. That's not fair to the animal. A dog is a dog. So that being the case, you need to be aware of that dog's propensities and behavior, and we'll work on it. We'll make it a lot better, but you can't put the whole load on the dog. You got to put the load on your guest. If you have somebody coming over to your house, you've got to have a certain attitude in how you deal with this, so you can educate people and you can avoid these problems from happening. Don't feel guilty and worried about it and avoid, which is what most people do. Good example of that. I go out in public all the time, and I have times where there'll be an accident. The dog will take a dump in the store. What is my reaction? My reaction is to stop and let the dog take one pile. Because if I walk, I'm going to get a dribbling mess trying to go out. So all of a sudden you get, oh my God, the dog's doing the dump in the store. I've got to get him out of here. And you're all sheepish. And now you create a whole trail going out the door. Stay right where you're at. Let the dog do its thing. Dog is a dog. It's happened. It is what it is. So then as soon as the dump gets over with, if you're like me, I've always got all my toolkit for going out. I've got a whole bunch of poop bags, right? And I'll pick it up and I'll stand there. I won't move. And I'll wave somebody down, or I'll get somebody's attention that for the wet floor signs, because we don't want to have a slip and fall. If it's urine or if it's feces, whatever it is, if you've got a sloppy mess. So you wave somebody down. Don't be so shy or so you feel ashamed, or you're trying to avoid it, so you walk away from it. It's the worst thing you can do, because now you have a slip and fall situation in a corporate store. That's not fair. They're giving you the right to come in their store, so show some respect. Stuff happens. Stand there, make sure that something doesn't happen. Get us a wet floor sign, and then help them pick it up. And I usually always ask for the paper towels myself. I'll clean it up. Don't worry about it. I'll clean it up. And I take that onus on myself, because I'm the one that is infringing on their area. It's their house. It's not my house. I'm there as a guest. And if I don't act the right way, if I don't do the right things, they're not going to let me come back into their store again. Okay, so I always show respect. I always get to know the staff. I always get to be friendly with everybody, because they're there in the store anyway. So I might as well get them help. I'll do things like greeting my dog and let them pet the dog if it's appropriate, that kind of thing. So bottom line is, your perspectives, how you think about the world and what you think, can affect you. And this young lady that owns this dog is European, and she had a heavy accent. I said she was Russian. She's not Russian. She corrected me. She's Brazilian. But she has a very heavy accent. And then culturally, she feels ashamed of her dog having episodes out in public, and she doesn't want to have that happen. That's why she put the dog in for training. But her perceptions in regards to training need to be corrected, because she's having this attitude that dog training means the dog's going to be a robot. We'll fix all this. No. I can set up a communication baseboard. I can get a communication tool going, and look at her. Down. Good. I can get all this started. Then I have to transfer it to the owner, and then teach the owner how to work with the animal, and get the owner to have confidence and have a different perspective and how she views the dog. She views the dog as her child. Oh, my little snookums. And that's the worst thing you can do. A dog is not a child. It's not your coddling post, right? People get the dog on the couch and you want, oh, my little snookums, and that's for you. That's not for the dog, right? What's for the dog is to give the dog strength and build the dog to have a very strong, confident personality and be sure of themselves, and give them. Now, when I do training, I can take that dog anywhere with me. It gives the dog a life, right? So you having the right attitude and awareness and perspective of what dog training is all about, or owning a dog and the responsibility of that, is important. Now, the problem is me, as a professional, we go out there, I show off all the time. I'm doing all these things. I'm trying to make sales. It's how I market myself. And you'll end up where people have a certain perceived view because they see us doing all this fancy stuff, right? And that fancy stuff is causing a problem, because now they think that means that they can have a dog like that. They can if they work for it. No two ways about it. But a dog is a direct reflection of who you are, and the family and the environment is all about you. That dog is a direct reflection of you. You are a part of that dog's environment. I always say it again and again. That environment is twofold. The dog's genetics and who the dog is in general, but also you form this dog from a young age. She's 3 years old. She's already been formed because she had a customer that doesn't understand, and now we're going to educate that customer, train the dog, but we have to fulfill everything. I can't just do the dog and then send the dog home and let the dog be with the owner without knowledge, without understanding and learning and growing and growing a relationship with her dog. This is going to allow her to have more of a relationship with her dog, right? And be able to have more freedom with the dog and not have to be so worried, right? Good girl, good girl, good girl, good. Yes, good girl. That was good. Look at that. She went all the way around. Good. Good girl, good. Come on. Come on. Good girl, good. Remember, I've been stepping. Yes, good girl, good. Yeah, go, good girl. There you go, my barbers. Yay. Nope. With me, with me. She doesn't have a look command or a focused heel or any of that. She's pet quality. And again, it's more about behavior modification, but this is pretty deep as far as her having the knowledge of the owner has to be handled. The owner's the key here, right? The dog's simple for me, right? Doing it since I was 12 years old. This is my whole life. I eat, breathe, and sleep dogs. This is easy for me. The hard part comes when I start educating the customer and their willingness to get off the couch and put the work in to learn and grow with their animal. And that's what any good training firm should be there for. Any good dog trainer worth his salt. It's not about the dog. It's about the owner and the dog, right? We've got to put the work in with the owner. So all you guys that are out there doing this stuff for in kennel and stuff and then not following through with a good program with your owners, not good. OPA. Good. Yes. And I said OPA. Yes. Good girl. Good. Yes, good girl. I like what I see. She's bending pretty well that way. That's the one that we do the most of because the dog's heeling into our side for that flip finish, right? And we're not going to do a flip finish for her. What's important, we go both ways. And this is called back end awareness. I think I mentioned it with her, matter of fact. Dogs generally don't have an awareness of the back end. They do the front end because everything in their life is all about the front. Chasing the prey, going through the briar patch after the rabbit. It's all about the front. And God gives them what they need. They got little whiskers here on their face and they can avoid that stick in the eye because they're going through the nice tight patch. But they have no awareness of the back end. So the reason we do this back end awareness that you see me doing with that rear end, for me anyway, I do it because it gives me the ability to teach a dog how to win and give them a task that ties into the communication baseboard that I'm trying to get them to understand, right? To follow lure, to follow this hand. Look at her. She's doing great. Good girl. Good. But they have no rear end awareness. So I put this in, even if a dog's not going to go to that stage where they're doing the flip finish and all that fancy stuff I do, it doesn't matter. It just still gives me no. Oh, he's in there rolling around. Zeus is next. So it gives me what I need to convey communication baseboard and install it because I'm asking her to do something. Just like this. Hup, I'm asking her to do something, right? She knows right away my hand goes up here. Look at her. She's looking up. Now I'm going to praise underneath her neck, give it a positive, and say yes, because she had a tendency to be very submissive. A lot of cowering. It's because how her owner's teaching her, working with her and dealing with her, right? So we need to change the owner's perspective and get the owner to start changing how she relates to the animal and what she does with the animal, that always be centered on getting this dog to grow, right? In mental attitude. Good girl, good. Yeah, go, good girl. Up. Place. Nope. Good. Good girl. You're at that good spot, aren't you? I can sense it. Place. Yes. Good girl. Good. You're going to do good this next week. She goes home pretty quick. Place. Nope. Place. She's an intelligent girl. Yes, she is. Place. Yes. Good. She just was confused. She has no clue because the person wasn't working with her properly. And now we're going to get her doing everything. And then we're going to take it to the owner and try to transfer it over to the owner and get the owner to put the work in. Get off the couch, put the work in, and you'll have full value out of the service we have to offer. If you don't, you're pissing your money away. And I say that a lot, again and again, all the time. I want to try to get the general public to understand that, because a lot of times these kids will go out and do their demos and do their thing, and all they care about is the sale, and then they let that end part go, and they don't work with the customer. And that's a failure on their services, and they're taking advantage of the general public in that regards. Walking away, putting the money in their pocket, and not having to do any more work with the customer is, in my mind, bullshit. All right? Good. Now, the customer comes into play on this too. Some customers are very busy and they don't want to put the work in. They want to just pay you for it and walk away. Well, they get what they pay for. If they do that, they're not getting half of what we can give them if they get off the couch and put the work in and learn and grow with their animal. Grow your relationship with your animal. Put the work in. And in that way, you'll get full value out of what we got to offer, and you'll get a lot more quality out of it, because now you're building your relationship with your dog. That's what we're here to help you do, right? That's what it's all about. Good girl, good. Good girl. Good girl, good. I'm doing my face and her face on purpose. My hand was on the clasp, and I'm ready to give a correction if she tries to snap at me. She hasn't shown me that behavior at all, so I see where her problem is. But I've got to get her owner on the same page so she starts to understand it and starts to be a leading factor in her dog when she's out in public and things. Instead of shying away from it and being insecure and being afraid, she needs to be assertive and start getting her dog to do the right thing, and also educating people around her and taking more of an assertive nature instead of letting people get away with that behavior. What's the rule? In a general sense, as far as social etiquette, is you never run up to a dog to go to pet him. You ask, can I pet your dog? You put out your fist. You wait for the dog to come to you. And then if the dog's receptive to it, then you can pet the dog. And that's when the customer or the owner tells you that it's allowed. She has a do not pet collar. The problem is that everybody does not read. Even if she had a harness that said do not pet, people still do it. They're idiots. And so that is where the problem lies. It's not the dog. Society as a whole and how they view it, but you can't control the world. All you can do is be aware of it around you and try to channel it, manipulate it in the way that it'll go with you when you're out in public, in an environment, right? And the public out there in the public is environment. All right, here, good girl. With me. There you go. Good girl, good. There you go. Good girl. All right, Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training with Jolene, who's kicking ass and taking names, huh? Please. Yes, good girl. With me. Good. Tried to lessen the lure so she'd come in without me kind of testing, probing. All right, she's doing good. We got another week or so to go, and she's going to get topped off. We're going to work on our structure and really getting some good heel, sit down, stay out of her. Yes, sir. All right, Jolene. Talk to you later. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, and Jolene. Come here, Jolene. Let's do a downstay. Come on. Good girl. Good, Jolene. She says, I'm a happy dog. Down. Good. Stay. Good. All right. Talk to you guys later.